Now, the organisation that represents the UK's fresh produce sector, fruit, vegetables, cut flowers and plants, is warning that those imported from the EU, and a lot do fall into that category, will get more expensive from January unless the government delays border checks due to come in January next year. The Fresh Produce Consortium has written to the Environment Secretary Steve Reed about this, and Nigel, Jenney, its chief executive, joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is the assurance that you haven't yet received? What would you like the government to do, which they haven't yet agreed to?
In essence, this is a hospital pass from the previous government, frankly, is that we are, as an industry, we are simply waiting for confirmation of when these checks will begin to occur and which products will be within the controls. And we simply don't have it at this time after years of waiting.
And despite meetings that you've had with the department?
Absolutely. Recently, the previous government held a further consultation to consider removing a large volume and a large range of fresh produce from these regulations. But that decision has not yet been confirmed. So as an industry, we're preparing for something, or potentially preparing for something, which could be huge volumes, perhaps 2 million tonnes of fresh produce. So to put that in context, that's over 2,000 vehicles a week coming to the UK. If what they're asking for in the consultation occurs, that will reduce substantially. So we're asking our European partners and the UK industry to prepare for something that may not happen at huge cost to themselves and ultimately consumers.
Okay, but it needs to happen at some point, doesn't it? These checks do need to come in because they are a consequence of Brexit.
Oh, absolutely. We're not arguing or questioning that this shouldn't happen. All we're looking for is a cost-effective broader solution and a clarity of when they will be implemented and which products will be impacted.
But either way, whenever they happen, say it's July next year or January next year, at that point, will the cost of these extra checks or the slowing down effect that they have on imports, will that necessarily mean that the costs we pay as consumers go up?
Yes, because there's two aspects here. On the basis of the regulations are based on risk from a biosecurity point of view, so a risk of potential pests and diseases. If the government confirms that many of these products are low risk, the controls don't need to happen and the costs don't need to be incurred. However, what we should remember, the border strategy that has been adopted by the previous government is so enormously expensive, those costs cannot be absorbed by the industry when the industry for years has invested its own hard cash, not government grants, not taxpayers' money, into its own solutions, which are approved by government and are now being failed to be used effectively by the government. So as an industry, we've been proactive, we have solutions, we have cost-effective solutions to ensure UK consumers can continue to enjoy great fresh produce at affordable prices, but we are being undermined by our own government.
Okay, so you want some certainty, and the statement that we've got from the government talks about being committed to improving trade and investment, and that risk-based checks on certain imports are essential. There is a suggestion, though, from what they've said to the newspaper, that they are reviewing the date at which things change. Is that your understanding?
Well, that's great to see the eyes covering that, and it's great. I would assume that the government has made that statement to it. We would like that clarification directly to ourselves, please. But at the same point, that could well be great news. But we also have to reflect on, for the goods that are already subject to the controls, which is plants, it's seeds, it's cut flowers, the costs and delays to industry, which are avoidable, are enormous. The government fees that they are levying on the industry are eye-wateringly expensive.
Okay. Nigel, Jenney from the Fresh Produce Consortium, thank you.